a background story to this video. I met my cousin's boyfriend twice before I moved out here to Virginia with her. The first two meetups, our relationship was great. I thought he was a cool guy. I liked his vibe to the point where I called him cousin-in-law. But since I've moved out here, I began to see his true character. I've been MIA from YouTube for most of this year, and this video will explain that reason. So without further ado, let's get into this video. Hey, welcome back to my channel. So I moved out like a year ago, so this is the year, I guess, update video about living in VA these past like a year. Some good, some bad, but I feel like it helped me grow as a person. The situations that were bad, I feel like I'm a very stronger person, and we're gonna get into that a little bit later, but I kind of want to focus on like the good things that has happened to me so far, moving out here, and then later on we're gonna get to the bad things. I wrote down some stuff right here, so if I look down, I'm just reading my notes. So I guess I moved out here around August. Let's see, was it August? No, it wasn't August, it was September, but it's still around the same time. So it's almost a year that I moved out here, so like 9 months to a year. This is the video. But yeah, so I moved out here around September 22nd or 23rd of last year. I was so excited because I've been to anywhere else other than California, so I just wanted to do something new, like going across the country just to see how everything was. Honestly, did not get homesick as much as I thought I would. Yeah, I do miss like my mom and my sister and my friends, but I thought I would be like, oh my gosh, I want to go back, like I don't want to live out here. But it's not that. There were some times where I was like lonely. I was like, dang, I wish I could just go to the store with my sister or like hang out with my friends, because I'm still in the group chat, so I see everything that they do and I'm just like, I want to go. Whenever they say like, oh, let's hang out and do it, you know, it's like I can't, but I still want to be involved. I definitely do miss my friends, but I know that they're proud of me. They can see like the growth that I've achieved so far, even with my YouTube posting consistently, or trying to post consistent, doing reels on my Instagram, taking pictures. I still have to do that, so that's one thing that I'm slacking on, is like going out and taking pictures, but I do definitely want to do that again. What else? Honestly, okay, I just miss the food. Okay, like the food out here is just lacking. It's lacking, like, and I'm a real big foodie fan, so I love food. So or maybe it's the places that I've been to, like they're not really that good, but I really do miss the food back home. But other than that, I love going to the beach. Like I think I live like 10 or 5 minutes away from like the beach, and if I wanted to go to, I guess it's called the oceanfront, that's probably like 35 minutes away, 45, I think 40, like from where I live. So that's what I'm happy about. I didn't immediately started to work when I got out here. I took like a 2-month break just so like I can get familiar with everything and where I'm living and all the stores and everything that's out here that I live close to. So I gave myself like 2 months, which was very needed because I went to school, I put down my baby, so I was like kind of like a little bit emotionally like, oh my gosh, like, and I've had her forever, so that was kind of hard for me. And then also like just moving right after that, I think it was like a couple of days. I think I put her down on the 17th, I believe, of September, and then I was on a plane on the 22nd, so I really didn't have much time to process like my baby being gone and then me moving, and then everything was just happening back to back. So I was like, you know what, I know I can forget a job, it's not a problem. So I just took those 2 months off, got to spend time with like with my cousin, and we did a little bit things here and there. So, and just getting familiar about like the area that I'm going to be living in. So that's what I did. So I ended up didn't finding a job until, but this was my own personal choice. I didn't find a job until like the end of December. But again, that was my personal choice because I just wanted to like relax and get accustomed to like where I'm living. So I felt like that was a much needed time of not trying to work. What else? But yeah, I got my first job out here working in the office, what I wanted to do in the first place, because normally back home, like I would do a lot of caregiving, which is not bad, but I just kind of wanted to elevate and get that experience of working in an office so I can put that on my resume, and just to see how I could, you know, go up from working in an office. And I feel like that's taught me a lot too about working in the office. I don't like it. I prefer, like, honestly, I feel like this, I'm a people person at sometimes, and then I'm not. I just want to be like by myself and just like work. But I feel like I'm more of like, I want to give back, like I want to help those that, you know, can't help themselves. So that's one of the reasons, like, I notice about myself, like the office jobs are not for me. Like, I'm very much a creative person, so I need to create, I need to help other people. That's why I want to start working on my makeup and pushing that, because I just want to be a part of someone's special day. Like, I want to make someone feel good on their special day, whether that's a wedding, a graduation, a birthday, baby shower. And I feel like that's my passion. And I felt like working in an office really made me realize I don't like working for someone else, and I don't like office work. It's just so restricting to your creativity, and I'm just like, not for me. So, but the upside of working in the office is I met my friend Amaya. I don't know when this video is coming out. This is August. I'm filming this on August 29th. So hopefully by next month I'll be able to push this out, and it'll kind of coincide with me being in a year. If you met her already, I'm not for sure when the vlog of her, me introducing her, is going to get posted, but it's edited. I just gotta post it. I just don't know when. I tell her all the time, like, thank you for accepting me, thank you for befriending me, because you didn't have to. Like, I was basically just a stranger, so she kind of like took me in and she showed me around. She was like, oh, let's do this. Oh, have you ever did this? I'm like, no. And she was like, okay, let's do this, let's do that. So she's pushed me to get out of my comfort zone, which I really appreciate, because I would have been like, I'm going to work, the gym, back home, that's it, repeat. Because I don't like going out. I mean, I'll go out sometimes, but I'm not a real big fan of going out and partying and stuff like that. I mean, I will go, but I'm more of like a homebody. So that's a lighter too, silence. I don't, but just really appreciative of her. And I honestly, I was kind of like, what is that at first? But then as like I got to spend time with her, like I truly feel like she is like my soul friend. Like, I've known her like for a long time, and it's just like, no girl, you just met her. But I tell her all the time, thank you. I'm grateful for having her in my life, because I don't know where would I have been, or I don't even know, like, just even about like everything that I'm going to get into like later on in this video. I felt like she helped me through a lot of stuff, emotional stuff, like, just, yeah, she's that person. Like, I can tell, like, she's always there whenever you need her. Honestly, I don't think there's never a time where I didn't need to talk to her and she was like, I can't talk to you right now. Like, she's always been there just to listen. Like, and that's one of my biggest things. Like, I want someone to just like understand, not if you don't even understand me, just to be there to like listen. And she's that friend, and I'm so grateful and I'm so thankful that I met her. And then on top of that, and she was like, oh yeah, when she saw me, she was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get you out your shell. I'm like, no you're not. But she has, so I commend her on that. I'm just like, girl, like, what? You really got me out my shell? Like, I don't let anybody do that, but yeah, I love her. What else? I started to do like day trips, where I went to this plant store called Mondays. That was in Fredericksburg. First of all, I thought it was in Richmond, but that is past Richmond. So I'm just like, and I drove that by myself, which is like fine, but I was just like, what the heck, like, but it was nice. So I enjoyed the drive. And then when we went to Richmond, her and I, that's like the vlog that I'm talking about, we went there for like a Juneteenth festival, which was really nice. And then I started like to take myself out to eat. I went to the movies by myself. I'm really trying to figure out who I am as a person, what I like, what I don't like, what I'm gonna tolerate, what I'm not gonna tolerate. And I felt like me coming out here and doing things by myself has really helped me understand who the woman I am. And I am not, I repeat, I am not the same person that I was a year ago, even 5 months ago, like a month ago. Like, I feel like I'm still continuing to grow and be the one that I want to be. So I felt like coming out here and doing things on my own, taking myself out, going to the movies, going shopping by myself, going to the park, going to the beach by myself, and falling in love with myself is the most, I don't know, like I recommend, like, if you want to grow as a person and you want to move out of your hometown, I suggest it. I honestly do. For you to grow as a person, as an individual, I really do feel like moving out of a place that you've been raised in, I feel like that's it's a much needed thing for like character development. I feel like I've known a lot more about myself, especially what has happened. Like, I felt like I've grown as a person. Yeah, I've been taking time by myself. I've been enjoying me time, figuring out what I like and what I don't like. So, and plus it's crazy because I'm a homebody, but being out here and to do things by myself and going out, and there's other stuff that I want to do, rooftop place that I want to go to. Me and my friend last week, we had just went to a lounge, which was nice. So hopefully we can do stuff like that again, because that was really fun. So now the bad stuff. Everybody knows that I moved out here not by myself. I mean, I did move out here by myself, but I knew my cousin was out here, and my cousin and I had a conversation even before I moved out here, because she knew that I wanted to like leave, and she knew that I wanted to get out of my mom's house and all that other natural stuff. So she knew that. So we were talking about this, like, I think it was like even maybe a year prior, a couple of months prior to me actually like moving out. I was like, yeah, like, why don't you just move out here, and you know, because I know that you want to like leave, and you can have this opportunity to like, you know, leave and stuff. So I thought about it, and I was like, okay, yeah, you're right, like I definitely do want to leave. So I made the decision to go to cosmetology school to get my manicuring, so I can get my license out here or California, or vice versa. That was going to take about like 4 or 5, 6 months. So in the meantime, you know, she was out here going to school, doing her thing and stuff. I was back home getting my certificate in that, so I can go and get my license. And then after that, I was going to move out here to VA. So I moved out here, like I said, in September. Yeah, September, on the 22nd or the 23rd. So everything was smooth sailing. Like, you know, I was adjusting to being out here, being by myself, learning, you know, where to go, like how to navigate pretty much out here, because it was new. I've never lived out anywhere other than California. So everything was fine. We had went to DC for her boyfriend's birthday. Looks like me and my cousin and his friends, and you know, so everybody was everybody was cool and everybody was having fun and stuff. And then that was in October, so that was like towards like the end of October. And then November comes around, you know, everything was still smooth sailing, like everything was good, stuff like that. No problems there, like, you know, even though like I still wasn't working, I was making sure that I had money saved over to pay what I needed to pay. You know, no one, I'm gonna make this very clear, no one had paid for me, nothing, not a dime for me to go out, not for me to eat, not for you to pay my car note, my insurance, not my phone bill, nothing. Anything that I bought prior to me having a job, I paid with my own money. Never asked for a handout, never asked my cousin to get me this, never, no food. I even paid for my own food, like, you know what I mean? So I was pretty much doing stuff independently, never asked for no help. Okay. So yeah, so everything that I was doing independently. I never asked for help. I paid what my cousin asked me to pay for. I made sure that I cleaned up after myself, because, you know, that's all that you can do. I'm not on the lease, so, and my cousin, she has a roommate. So I was like, okay, making sure, like, you know, I'm not supposed to be here, so I had to make sure, like, you know, I kept it cordial and everything, you know, cleaned up after myself, or too much. Basically, I'm just like, you know, here, but I'm not here, you know? So that happened, and then boom, December comes. Now this is like, in the beginning of December, everything was cool selling and stuff like that. But I noticed throughout like October and November, when I got here, I've noticed some things about a said person. But I'm not the type of person to like bring it up to anybody's attention. So if I see something and I don't necessarily agree with you, I'm just going to take that mental note, and I'm just going to like adjust my way, how I move towards, or how I move around you. I'll try to like be more mindful of the way that I speak to you, what type of information that I want to relay upon you, because, you know what, like, you're talking a certain type of way and I'm just not understanding that, and that's not how I move. So I just slowly kind of like took note of that, and I just kind of like jotted down in my head. I'm like, okay, like, well, I can't do this, or I can't say this around you. So I'm like, okay. And I brought that up to my cousin's attention, and things just kept happening and stuff like that, but I just kept a mental note, but I still kept it cool and cordial. So I just noticed that like my cousin, like, she would be a little bit more controlling, or trying to control like the aspect of everything that I was trying to do. She was trying to like control like who I talked to, who I found attractive. It was just, and I'm just like, okay, well, I knew she was like that, like, growing up, because this is not nothing new. Like, there's times where I'm just like, oh, I like this person, I don't like him. Why do you like him? He's not attractive. Again, when all this stuff first happened, like, this was like when we were kids. So I'm thinking, okay, like, well, maybe she has changed, like, maybe from her being out here, like, you know, maybe she has grown out of that. But sadly mistaken, I was wrong. And so I found someone like a little bit attractive, like, out here, and I was like, okay, like, oh, I found him like cute or whatever. And then my cousin was like, why do you like him? He's not attractive. And then I was just kind of like brushing it off, because I'm just like, bro, like, why does it matter to you, like, who I find attractive, or who I think is cute, or why I like them and stuff? I don't think that's any of your business, because I don't really care about why you're with this person or whatever. And then I noticed just little things that she would do. Like back in October, like when we had went to DC and stuff, I remember being in the bathroom. I just got done doing my makeup. My cousin came in there. She looked at me, like stared at me, and I was like, okay, like whatever, like still doing my thing. And then she looked at me, and then she walked out. And then a couple of minutes later, she walked back in, and all her makeup was like removed off her face. And I was just like, okay. And I was like, why did you take off your makeup? And she was like, oh, because like my skin and this and that, the third. And I was like, I could have helped you. Like I could have fixed it. Like all you had to do was just ask me. I'm not gonna gatekeep. Like, you know, I want you to look good too. Like if you look good, maybe we all look good. Like, you know, it is what it is. So that happened. I just like noticed that. And then she left the bathroom and she was like, I don't know if her boyfriend had said something, but my cousin had made this comment or this statement. She was like, yeah, we all know that like Theresa is like the prettier cousin. And I was like, what the heck? And honestly, when people do stuff like that, I get so uncomfortable, because it's like, you don't need to. But I'm very humbled by the way that I come across about like my looks and stuff. I just kind of felt like that was off, and I was just like, okay, now we're at December. I know, I'm sorry that I'm going like all over the place, but it's just like a lot, and then I'm trying to like explain. But December happens. We're cool. I mentioned to my cousin a couple of times that, hey, like, you know, your boyfriend kind of is like talking in a way of as if like he's better than, not holier than thou attitude, that's more of her. It's more like I'm better than you, or you're not doing enough in your life, you should be here because I'm here type stuff. You have your own path and this person has their own path. So regardless if you feel like you're up here and I'm down here, or vice versa, everybody has their own path that they need to take. So you can't look at yourself and think that, oh yeah, I'm doing better because I went to school, I'm this and I'm that and the third. Okay, that's nice, but everybody doesn't want to go to school. Everybody doesn't want to take that path of getting a degree and stuff like that. But that doesn't mean that their life is going to be less significant than yours, or they're going to be less successful or less financially stable than you. I'm that type of person. For me, I feel like you can go to school, and honestly, it depends on what you go to school for. You can still go to school, have a degree, and still work at McDonald's or at Starbucks or work at Walmart. There's a teacher that just quit his job because a Walmart manager pays more than a teacher's salary. And I'm not the type of person to be like, okay, well, I'm gonna look down upon you because you made this choice. I'm gonna be more successful than you. Never gonna do that. That's not me. So, and I've told my cousin this, like the way that he talks, he's very like, B doesn't feel like I'm doing anything with my life. And she looked and she was just like, well, oh yeah. I'm just like, what? How do you figure when I just moved out here 2 months ago? So of course I'm not going to be established as you are. Like, you guys been out here. I think B has been out here for probably like what, 6-7 years. So he's built a life here. Coming out here the first year, you probably the same thing, like, but you had a plan of you wanted to go to school and stuff like that. I have a plan of doing something else, and it's my plan. I don't have to discuss, I don't have to share that with anybody. As long as I'm doing what I need to do as an adult. Saying like, if I got out here and to this day right now, I have not worked, I haven't done anything, I haven't paid no bills, I haven't did, then that's something that, okay, now we need to have a conversation. Like, you moved out here but you're not doing anything, you're not working, you're not, I can understand that. But I didn't. I made sure my bills were paid. I made sure that I had enough savings where I could take that 2-month break and then decided to work. But then back where everything had changed and stuff, December, now we're at December. Okay, sorry, this is bouncing back and forth, but now we're at December. This is like towards like the end of December, or in the middle, I don't know. All I know is like it's in December, probably like the middle end. We had went out to, I don't know, it was like this restaurant. So it was myself, my cousin, her boyfriend, and 2 of his friends. One of his friends from back home, from where he's from, and then his like recent previous roommate. And so like we had drinks and we ate, stuff like that. Honestly, the food was not that good. Let's be honest, let's be clear. A light of this situation, but it's really not light. So we got to talking and stuff like that, and then her boyfriend asked the question. When I say this question is ridiculous, but the question was, if I were to go to jail, got your cousin pregnant, would you take care of the baby? And before I could say anything, he was like, don't do it for her, do it for me. And then I was just like, mind you, we did have some drinks and stuff like that, so you know, tipsy. So I feel like a tipsy mind speaks sober thoughts. So what I said was, no, who are you other than my cousin's boyfriend? And the room got silent. That table, there was no conversations after that. And it was just like a shocker, I guess. And then I was like trying to explain like why I said that. And I was kind of like saying like, you know, I mean, I've only hung out with you like a handful of times, you know. And he was like, well, Lavicia, it's been more than a handful. Or I'm like, okay, but that still doesn't mean that I know you. Like, I can hang out with you 5-10 times and still not know you. I just met you earlier that year. Came out here twice before I ended up moving out here. The first time I literally came like on a Friday, and then I think I left on a Sunday. I like you a little, like I like what I'm seeing and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, like you're not that bad of a person, but that's still not knowing you. And then I came back again and I stayed for like a week, but mind you, it was a week. So I really hung out with you on the weekend, and I think maybe twice during the week. And then when I moved out here, you know, we spent like a little bit more time together and stuff like that, like around like his friends and like him and then my cousin and stuff. But I started seeing something that I didn't like in you and your character, so I kind of like removed myself a little bit. I didn't tell nobody, but I still kept it cool and cordial with you. But I removed myself a little bit from discussing anything that I wanted to do in my life, anything that involved me, like personal. I just kind of stopped sharing, because I was just like, the conversations of, oh well, if I got my cousin pregnant, or if I got your cousin pregnant, I can get a 2-bedroom and you can move in there, and you know, I don't have to pay a stranger to take care of the baby. I can just pay you. That's not what I want for my life. I'm not trying to live underneath my cousin. I'm not trying to, I have goals, I have aspirations of myself. And the fact that you couldn't see that, and you just thought that I'm just out here underneath my cousin. I don't have no goals. When I was like looking for a job and stuff like that, when I started to like look for a job, and he was like, oh, why don't you just work at the ABC store? That's where I started. You know, everybody has to start somewhere. And the ABC store out here is pretty much a liquor store, and it's kind of like a corner store in a way, but it's not like a corner store. It's basically like, our corner stores are basically like the corner stores. Like, it sells alcohol and all that other stuff, you know. The ABC store out here is pretty much that concept. It's just basically a liquor store. So I'm just like, and I was like talking to my friend about this too, and this was months, okay, this is like leading up to the, and I was like listening to the how he was like explaining and what he was like saying to me, and I'm just like, bro, what are you talking about right now? You think I left California to come to VA to work in a liquor store? What? But is that really like how you view me? And that's how I took it as, oh, well, you don't really have anything going for yourself, so you can pretty much work at a liquor store, because that's pretty much all you're gonna achieve. You don't have a degree, you haven't went to school, so you can work in a liquor store. It's okay, it's fine. That's, everybody starts somewhere. No, I'm not going to. If I really wanted to work at a liquor store, I wouldn't have moved out here. I would have did that at home. But that's how you view me. That's like, that's the value, that's the worth that you view me as, to work in a liquor store. Okay, back to the dinner table. So I tried to explain myself, and I was just like, no one was listening. So I'm just like, in my head, I'm just like, all right, well, if you're not listening to me, I'm not going to keep trying to not even convince you, try to explain why I felt that. I'm just not going to do it. I just like, you know what, you're gonna think whatever you want anyway, so I'm not even gonna try to change your mind. Nothing.